Now, unlike relative cell references, absolute references do not change when copied or filled in cells. We use absolute references when we want the reference value to remain constant, which means that rows and columns don't change when a formula cell is copied. In this table, for example, a tax rate of 10% applies across all food items, regardless of row or column, as the tax payable is constant. Let's see how the tax rate could be used as an absolute cell reference by making a little change to this spreadsheet. We'll just add another column and enter the tax rate as a value in an individual cell. Now let's write a formula in cell F9 to calculate the tax due on the total spring rolls ordered, which will be E9 multiplied by the tax rate given in F7. Now let's drag the formula down to copy it and calculate the tax payable on all other dishes. Something is definitely wrong because we have ended up with errors and figures that don't tally. Switching to formula view can help us identify the problem right away. Now this was the formula we entered to begin with, which multiplied the amount for spring rolls by the tax amount given in cell F7. If we look at the rows below, it's clear that our copied formula cell, which is F9, consists of relative cell references. Cell F10 displays an error because it's unable to calculate a value. That's because it has shifted each row reference down by one row from our original formula, given its relative position, but this means that Excel is trying to multiply cell E10 by F8, and F8 contains text, so that's why it's returning a value error because this can't be calculated. Now, just think a minute, what is the formula that we actually want to enter in cell F10? To calculate the tax amount, we want to multiply E10 by the tax rate given in F7 because tax is constant at 10% for all items. Now we could write formulas manually for the tax column, but to save time, we can just edit our original formula so that it can be copied and give us the results we want. In our original formula cell, we need to convert this F7 cell reference from a relative to an absolute cell reference because absolute cell references do not change when copied. We can do this by inserting a $sign in front of both the column and row numbers. We will leave the first cell reference in our formula as it is because we want it to auto-update relative to row number. This formula now consists of one relative cell reference and one absolute cell reference. What this means is that if we now copy and paste our formula, the first cell reference will change relative to the column or row we pasted in, but the second cell reference will remain the same and we will always multiply by 10% to find the tax amount. Okay, let's exit formula view and see what we end up with. Our values look correct now, and we can just do simple maths on a couple of rows to check that our values in column F are 10% of column E. Hope all's good so far. Just a quick reminder, relative references change when copied to other cells based on the relative position of rows and columns, while absolute references do not change when copied and remain constant.